If the Vikings had seen the state of young men today, which advice do you think they would give? I will try to give a voice to a Viking man that has seen the state of young men today. What would he say? Which advice would he give? But first of all, I'm going to pitch my Lavvo, and if you can see my backpack here, I actually have in my backpack my new Lavvo. I have a frying pan, I have bacon, I have beer, very lightweight, so I'm quite excited about that. I'm going to put that at the end of the video. Got warm really quickly. Okay, let me get straight to the point here, because I've been thinking about this, and I believe that if a Viking, or more correctly a Norseman, should give a piece of advice to young men today, it would be this: you have to preserve your bloodline. You have to make sure that your genes are passed on to the next generation. In other words, you must become a father. It's quite obvious, because that was extremely important to our ancestors, I think, in any culture. And for some reason, people today, some people today, they seem to live in up into their 30s. This idea that they don't need children, they don't want children. But most people, I guess, I think, will feel a need for. There is something deep within us that, you know, tells us that we need to pass on our genes to the next generation. We need to make sure that our bloodline is not cut, that our genes live on. And in a way, it's when we have children, a part of us will live on after we are gone, and I think that's beautiful. It's very warm, this stove here. Let's see. I made a little bit of mistake here, by the way. I brought my pan. Well, it's too big for the top of the stove, so no bacon today. And no, I will not fry bacon directly on the stove. Not today. So I guess, you know, the biggest difference would be between men today and men back then would be, well, women as well actually, would be that now we feel, well, some people, they don't feel a need to have children, but as I said, I think that most people will do at some point in their lives, and especially for women, you know, if they postpone that, the whole having kids thing there, if they postpone that too long, it might be too late, you know. And it's not bigoted to say that. It's, you know, it's true, you know. So it's just the way nature works. So yeah. I'll have some chocolate coffee. Some of you asked me what's in the chocolate coffee, and it's just I'm not, you know, like a big coffee connoisseur. It's just coffee mocha. That's chocolate coffee, I'm told. So, and I think also that one other piece of advice that a Viking would give us, would give young men today, would be that apart from you have to have kids, apart from that, it would be that you need to take care of your reputation. It was extremely important to the Norsemen that they were remembered in a positive way, or you know, that could be as a warrior, of course, but most people, they were remembered not as warriors, because most people back then were not warriors, but they needed to be remembered as a person of integrity, honor, and I would like to add, actually, kindness. That was more important than we tend to, you know, realize, because they had to be kind to each other. It sounds strange, I know. It was a society where they had slaves even, you know, and they say that at around 1000 AD, 1/3 of the population in Norway at least was, they were slaves, but still, you needed some kindness there, because if people didn't take care of each other, they would not have survived. So having children, being a father, being known as a man of integrity and honor would probably have been advice, you know, from a Viking man today to young men today. Furthermore, I was actually just only going to talk about the part with you know, the having children, but I would like to add also, and this I guess is the third advice a Viking man would give to young men today. Quite simply, you have to strive, you have to do your best, you have to realize that, you know, life is a struggle. It's always a struggle. It's always going to be a struggle. The struggle never ends, no matter who you are, actually. I truly believe that. We might look at some people and say, well, they have it easy. But if you knew them, you would have realized that they have their battles that they have to fight, and they have their troubles. They have their heartaches, and they have their, you know, it's obviously it's different if you're like very poor. Life is harder. I do realize that, but we have to do our best with the cards that we are dealt. Life is not fair, but we have to do our best. We have to take responsibility. So I guess that would be the third advice a Viking man would give to young men today. You have to take responsibility for your own life. Look at this. I'm being an idiot, because what I did wrong here is, of course, that yeah, well, I'll have to sort this out. These should be on the bottom. It's setting the ground on fire here now. It burns, you know, really warm. I managed to lift the stove a little bit with these pieces, these planks here, and I poured some water under. Well, not under obviously, but on the sides. But the chimney works. No, this is just a big long piece of titanium foil, and I can't see any smoke coming out from the sides. And as I said, the smoke that you see here is yeah, it's from underneath. First time trying out this kit, but it's, you know, It's wonderful. I really like it. I just realized, I just remembered, I brought beer. So now I have a dilemma. I have my chocolate coffee here and I have my beer as well. I'll have the coffee first, then I'll have the beer. This is the Seek Outside Cimarron. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but Cimarron. So it's and I bought it with my own money, by the way. If you, it's I'm not being sponsored, but it's I think it's worth the money. If I can just figure out the chimney at the top there. It doesn't look right, but I'll figure it out. This is yeah, this is proper camping, you know, and with the added bonus that you can actually carry this with you. It's not heavy. That matters a lot, by the way. Because I have another Lavvo, but you can't bring it with you. It's just too heavy. So this is going to be my new favorite. I love the concept of having a stove inside the tent. You know, the hot tent option. It's just, it's in my blood as a Scandinavian, I would say. It would be more spacious inside, of course, if I had what's it called, staked out, or you know, the sides there. But when it's only me, it doesn't matter. It's extremely spacious for me, or even for two people. You know, two people can live like kings here. So the tent is, this is the inner tent, or the nest, and what you do is you, to keep the bugs out, let's see now, like this. And then this is where you sleep. And there is room for two actually here. And I have a liner. I didn't put the liner up, but there is a liner I can to avoid water dripping because of condensation. The pole is carbon. It weighs nothing. This is obviously not done totally correctly, and yeah, I'll have a look at how to set everything up in the correct way. Skål! Yes, I think this was a success, both the Lavvo and the stove with the with a chimney and all, and also and the beer. Let's see here, and the knife, this beautiful knife. Lots of new stuff in this video. You know, there is also the thing with the darkness during winter. Hello. During the winter months here in Norway, and so I was thinking it might be easier to film, to have some lights and, you know, inside the Lavvo, and then I will be able to film. Even when it's dark, so, and when I'm out in the woods, so we'll see. Yeah, wonderful knife. Virtus knives. I'll put a link. I'll put the link in the video description, and yeah, so do check out this knife maker. I think he's talented.